have a much more intersectional lens, because you named a whole number of things, but you failed to talk about sort of the role of women. And I think it's very different. You know, you talked about people who were getting jobs. It wasn't women, you know, and things like that. And I think if we don't talk with that kind of lens, I think we're missing a great deal in terms of developing a real history. I also want to say that in BC, people like John Price at the University of Victoria have done amazing work about the history of Asians and South Asians in the mining and the fishing industries of Vancouver Island. And it's quite amazing. But the last thing I want to say, I'm on the board of Co-Development Canada in Vancouver, and we had a board meeting 2 days ago, and we had a co-development aided tour to Colombia, where we brought down relatives of the missing and murdered women to meet with Aboriginal women in Colombia. You know, I want to talk about what kind of real solidarity is subject to change that. So I think that some of that work is still going on, and CODEV is doing a tour to Guatemala in February, and if you're interested, please contact me.
Thanks. Did any of the panelists want to respond?
Maybe it'd be best to collect as many questions and then one last.
Yeah, I was invited by law to join in a fact-finding mission to El Salvador, Nicaragua in 1986. And it's sad, and I knew LOC doesn't exist anymore, but it was a very important organization, and important in a way of us going. I mean, I was really innocent, and then going to El Salvador and experiencing the lives that people lived who visit factory or workers who did not get materials because they were anti-government, or the sugar workers who did not get materials to work. To meet with teachers. The experience in El Salvador left me forever, up to this day, with an understanding of or interpretation of when you read in a paper, when you read something, it's sort of you read but you don't understand. And being there, and then going to Nicaragua as well, spending time there, meeting with workers and visiting workplaces, it made such an impact. It changed my life up to this date. And then when I came back from this trip, I actually needed 2 days to kind of calm down and to digest what I had just witnessed. And my neighbor calling me and telling me, oh, I need more kitchen curtains, I don't like this anymore. And just to show what we are actually living with and what's important to us. And that is why groups like LOG organizing these tours to these countries is so important. And like I said, it left me forever a different person. Thank you.
At the risk of prolonging the session and keeping us from lunch, I apologize in advance. I have a question, I suppose that's maybe mostly for David for the first presentation, and that is, it seems to me that part of what this whole conference struggles against is the fact that in a nation-state system, it limits the way in which political will can be organized and exercised, but not the way that capital can. And so part of what is this organizing is to push against that. And what's interesting about David's case and some of the historical cases is that was at a time when that system was not in place, and that the world, the globe, became seen as a place where you might organize and exercise political will differently. And so against that backdrop, I don't know, David, if you have thought anything comparatively between the Spanish Civil War, what motivated people to go, what they brought back with them, and contemporary cases of young men and sometimes young women going and fighting in other wars, sometimes with a leftist cause, as in Rojava in parts of Syria and Turkey, and then of course much more what we might think of as rightist causes in the Islamic State kind of army. What motivates people to go? What do they bring back? How do they get past that way of thinking that would limit where you see yourself being politically active and perhaps also willing to risk your life for that?
I don't know if thank you for your kind words about David Featherstone. I totally adhere to his conception of working class internationalism, and I've never met him, but I've read what he's been writing, and I think it's essential to pursue that work because it reveals so much in the past. Because what is great about the literature today, especially on the new labor internationalism, people like Peter Waterman and so many others, is that they have really unpacked and opened up the concept to understand new forms of internationalism today. But we're stuck with the old version of working class internationalism in the past, and I think we need to make a dialogue.
Okay, unfortunately, the caterers are waiting to move in, so that people who want to continue discussion can maybe just move up to the front. Thanks very much, and if you join me again.